Julio Cesar Martinez retains his WBC World Flyweight title with an 11th round TKO victory over Panamanian Ronal Batista. Now, I didn't see Martinez's previous fight against Samuel Carmona, but a lot of people said he didn't look impressive. That was only a majority decision win for him over 12. And in this fight here against Batista, he didn't look particularly impressive either. Batista, really an unknown fighter, plucked from obscurity for Martinez to have a comfortable defense against, but it turned out to be relatively tricky. Batista showed a good set of whiskers. He was able to take a shot, and he was pretty good technically. He was outboxing Martinez at times, catching him with shots, and in the middle portion of the fight, he was backing Martinez up to the ropes, and he was doing his best Chocolatito impression, trying to emulate what Chocolatito was doing with consistent short punches. Martinez, of course, is much more explosive. He tends to throw wide looping shots a lot of the time, but they're fast and they're powerful. They're unorthodox. He switches between southpaw and orthodox all the time. But as I say, Batista was having a lot of success with more conventional boxing, and Martinez took several rounds to figure it out. Batista had a point deducted, I think it might have been in the 5th or the end of the 5th, for hitting after the bell. But curiously, later on in the fight, Batista was dropped, and the referee didn't call it at the time. And even more curiously, Mauricio Solomon apparently spoke to the commission after the round was over and got them to change their call on the knockdown, because the referee said it wasn't a knockdown, it was a slip. Mauricio Solomon got them to change it to being a knockdown. Now, I've never seen anything like that in boxing before in my life. Boxing doesn't have the replay system that they have in various other sports, whereby a call can be changed after reviewing footage. Boxing doesn't have that, but somehow Mauricio Solomon apparently was able to make it up as he goes along. And furthermore, that shouldn't be Mauricio Solomon's job. That's supposed to be the job of the commission. How can Solomon go and tell the commission what to do? Now, we know that real power in the world isn't written down on paper. That's just for show a lot of the time. And perhaps that's what we saw here. We saw who has the real power between the WBC and the local commission there in Guadalajara. In any event, Martinez was starting to get on top in the fight. He finally caught up to Batista in the 11th round after having him in trouble in the 10th, pinned him up against the ropes, put some shots together, and the referee waved it off. I thought it was a little bit of a premature stoppage. Batista hadn't been down in that round. He didn't look out of it or anything like that. But I will concede that it looked at that stage as though the fight was only going to go one way. Sonny Edwards, I think, is going to be confident in fighting Julio Cesar Martinez. Obviously, he knocked out Sonny's brother a few years ago, but I don't think Sonny's going to be intimidated by what he saw here in the Batista fight, because Batista, with basic sensible boxing, was able to have a lot of success. And if Edwards can get the fight in the UK, I think that really increases his chances of victory. Will Martinez want to have that fight in the UK? I'm not saying I'm picking Edwards necessarily, but I think he's going to be very confident after seeing that. I'm sure he was confident beforehand, but particularly after seeing that, some people think that the Chocolatito fight has really taken it out of Martinez. It's affected his confidence. And other people, indeed Chris Mannix on the DAZN broadcast, was suggesting that Martinez was never that good to begin with. That, let's say, the Charlie Edwards fight and some other fights flattered him a little bit. And we found out his true level when he stepped up against Chocolatito. Incidentally, there was a curious thing said by Chris Mannix on the commentary. He said that Batista, who's from Panama, should he win, would become Panama's first ever world champion. I mean, has he never heard about Roberto Duran? Or did he just forget to say flyweight? I'm not sure if there's ever been a Panamanian flyweight world champion. Maybe there hasn't, but he didn't say that on the broadcast. He just said Panama's first ever world champion. Strange thing. Anyway, let me know what you guys think about everything I talked about in this video.